Alright, okay, so last, I guess we'll start his combat animations. Let's start with the idle. Select all these. Let's just duplicate the idle here with a new animation. Let's call this one Hurt. Okay, I'm going to save that there. So I just want to, probably just want to delete these. So this is, again, not going to be a looping animation. We don't want to loop this. So he's just going to get, we're just going to finish the animation, and we'll blend it back to whatever his idle is. I want to come up here. Eye location and rotation. Set these Alt-R, Alt-G to set those back to normal. I'm on individual origin, so let's maybe curl these back a little bit. Pop his head back like he just got knocked out. Not completely yet. We'll do that the death animation here in a second, or unconscious animation, whatever, however you would like to phrase that. Okay, so let's copy this. Maybe paste it there. It's closer, so it's more of a... Okay, so we could kind of brace himself right here if we want. Let's take these and copy these. Use your mouse wheel to increase the size of that circle select. Let's just copy these, paste them right here. Okay, so that they won't change. Tilt him forward a little bit, make him look like he's about to get hurt, and he knows it, and he's sad. I'm going to insert the keyframe there, and hopefully he looks like he's getting struck a little bit more. Maybe we do want him to bend his knees a little more. And we'll knock him back a little bit. Okay, so if you zoom in and use these little squares, you can see exactly where your foot position is. All right, so my toe currently ends 1.5 squares from this line right here. And here it's 2.5. So I just want to come here and bring this back to about 2.5. Wow. Okay, let's bring him back a little bit as well, I guess. More of a bop. And we can take his feet and just set them back. Again, if you want to, you can come... Make sure that's at 2.5 and stays at 2.5. Maybe we try that. Ow. Looks good. Okay, we can actually use the beginning of this to try to trigger our death. Now, players will find that annoying, just to mention. The reason is, until a certain point, you don't know if you're just hurt or dead. And you kind of have to, you have a pause of like sheer hope in your heart. And then, yeah, it takes a second for you to realize you died. So it's up to you how you want to handle that mechanic. But I'm probably just going to actually use the beginning of this hurt to create my my feint. Let's come over here. And let's see how this looks snapping back. So we could do that if we want. Probably want to bring that forward a little more. Maybe these are back a little too far. Ooh. But what you want to do is, if you want him to be able to attack while he's in the air, he might attack one of those TNT crates, in which case he will do his hurt animation mid-air, right? So you kind of have to, you can create two if you want, one for grounded, one for mid-air. That's another option, but just bear those things in mind and make sure your everything's going to work properly for you. I'm just going to do everything grounded, so I'm going to make sure he's on the ground before he attacks. Whoops, go back to medium point. Could just have him fly back to about here. Let's do something like this. Just give yourself a pose. Okay, I don't want to scrunch that up too much. Maybe we could rotate this on the Y, make him look like he's a little bit out of consciousness there, and he's not really paying attention to anything. Okay, let's set that back with Alt-R, Alt-G, and I'm just going to, I think, make this like this. There we go. He's fallen and he can't get up. Okay, so we've got some pretty gross stuff going on there. So we can just slightly use these bones, basically, the shoulders here. It's going to move your body quite a bit, and you don't want get everything all funky, but you can use these to fix things a little bit here and there. Same with the hips, like if you really needed to. See how much it's moving there, but if you really had something you needed to fix and you could just slightly shift this and fix it, see, it actually fixes some of the shading there, funny enough. But yeah, you can use these extra utility bones kind of just to fix things up. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, eye location and rotation. So we could actually have him bounce a little bit and then slide back a little further. Let's come back here. Whoops, maybe that's too far. Let's come back about there. Give yourself 4 frames and go right in the middle. Almost an impression of a ragdoll. Now, Unity does have ragdolls you can use that requires a humanoid rig. I don't think we'll get into that in this course at all, to be perfectly honest, the inverse kinematics and stuff like that. But I do plan to do some tip videos in the future, so hopefully I can include that one. Let's just bring this back and see how that looks. So I think that's good. Maybe it's a little too dramatic on the middle here, so what you can do is you can just come back to one of these in-between frames and choose a different pose and just copy and paste. So maybe that one's too dramatic, so maybe we just use this one. Let's try that. So before you paste, just deselect the root bone so that it doesn't change his Y position here. Right, so he'll still be there. All right, and finally, let's do the little smash. So I'm gonna go back to the idle again. Right, this is where he'll start, most likely, that spot here. So I don't want to actually change anything. Make sure you don't go into your main, go into an animation and then start creating a new one. It's an easy mistake to make, especially when you're constantly duplicating and they all look the same whenever you add a new one. Just a heads up. Just be aware of that. Okay, click that shield. We can delete these and do a similar thing that we did with the hurt animation. Kind of swing his head back and then just slam forward. So we want to make sure that there's a cube, that we're going to hit the cube in front of us. So another trick, if you want, you can come over to Layout, go Shift-A, add a plane, right? So this you can see now that instead of just the grid, you could see your player walking around on a plane. You come back to the Animation tab and you can see that there. You can change to the rendered view and see the shadows. It will also be pretty cool to go to the walk, right? Hit spacebar to play it. And we can hit G and Y and just slide him across on this floor and have a look at how that's going to go. So that's pretty fun. But what I want to do, pause that, go into the layout. I want to add a cube right in front of him. So the cube, or our crate, was about that big. Perfect. Should come up like that. I think it was about that big. So we'll move it in front of him a bit. Let's move it to about there. Let's just make sure he's going to hit it. That's all. Just so it doesn't look weird in the game. So just give these yourself some kind of placeholder props. I'm going to call this placeholder crate. I'm going to call this placeholder floor. Okay. If you want to, you can add a material to these. I'm just going to call this placeholders. Maybe change this to red. And just select that one on the cube as well. Okay, back to animation. Here we can see if he's actually going to hit it. Right, remember rendered is going to be a little bit laggy. Hit Control Tab, make sure you're in pose mode. You can also change that right here, just a reminder. Come back to the attack. Okay. Okay, let's try that. We'll change his bottom half a little bit later. So I just want him to kind of bop and smoke that right there. Maybe we can change his root a little bit here as well. Something like that. Just to make sure he actually hits the cube with his beak and his entire face. Really just want the beak, but you know, I think that'll give us an okay effect in the game. So let's tilt these. Okay, you can move these afterwards. It doesn't need to be in the perfect position when you create the pose. His head coming back, so let's just copy this pose right here, bring it up to the end, And we place that wherever makes sense. Let's try that. And same thing right here. Just kind of moving forward like he's striking. I think that'll work for us, at least on the bottom portion. Maybe we'll actually fix this up so it doesn't look so weird on the way back. I don't mind those little stutters going on his walk as well. Yeah, if you really don't, if you're getting a lot of that and you really don't want it, all I can tell you is it's time investment. Right? You're gonna have to check out each keyframe. You're gonna have to pull bones here and there and just delete where you need to delete, add where you need to add, until you get it exactly how you want it. So animation is an extremely time-consuming process. So after he hits down here like that, maybe we want to actually have a little bit of a follow-through. So as he's coming back with his spine and everything else, we'll start that right there like that. And then we can actually delete these, actually. Okay, so he leans forward a bit, and then he'll be looking forward a little bit before he reaches his idle again. There we go, a little head bob. Okay, so we can go over, we go to object mode, and we can hide these now if we want to, and just have a look at his animation. I think that'll be cool. And as he strikes we'll create a little hitbox, probably a little cube in front of him, and we'll activate that to destroy the crates. Alright, so that's it for animation, guys, and in the next episode, we're actually going to go back into Unity. We're going to set this guy up with controls and a script. We're going to be able to make him run around and start smashing those cubes, those crates. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.